Atomic Habits is one of the most popular books of the decade.
Atomic Habits, an easy and proven way to build good habits and break bad ones.
And I'm embarrassed to say that I've only just read it last week, but the lessons and ideas that it gave me are so powerful that I felt that I just had to create a video on it. So in today's video, I'll be sharing 7 lessons from Atomic Habits by James Clear in 7 minutes, so that way I can give you guys a good summary on how you can start applying the lessons that I've learned into your life as well. So lesson number 1 is 1% better makes a difference. Now, we often get swept up in our day-to-day setting these really ambitious goals that we're not really sure how we're going to achieve. You want to get a six-pack, you want to get $1 million, all these huge goals. But what we need to understand on what the book actually teaches us is that we need to scale back and just simply think what we can do day after day just to be 1% better. There's a really cool part in the book where it says that if you would simply do 1% better for 365 days, you would get 37 times better than when you initially started. And there was a really cool quote in the book that says, "Time magnifies the margin between success and failure. It will multiply whatever you feed it. Good habits make time your ally, and bad habits make time your enemy." So what you need to understand is that all you need to do is focus on the little things you can do day after day. As long as you're consistent, eventually you will achieve the goals that you set for yourself. So lesson number 2 is forget goals, focus on systems. Now, winners and losers in life all have the same goals. We all want to be healthy, we all want to be rich, we all want to have a great relationship. However, the difference between who succeeds in these areas and those that don't is that the ones that succeed have a proper system in order to accomplish their goals. So for example, say you want to make $1 million. Everyone wants to make $1 million. However, the people that are going to set in motion the system to do so, how they save, how they invest, how they learn, they are going to be the ones that's going to get closer and closer to the goal. So what you need to do, and what the book teaches us to do, is that we need to focus on building out the system towards achieving our goal. What are we going to do day after day so that way we can get one step closer to it? There's no point setting a bunch of goals, because eventually, even though if you do meet them, then well, the goal's not going to be there and you're not going to continuously improve anymore. However, if you have a proper system in place, there is no ceiling to what you can achieve in life. Lesson number 3 is change starts by changing your identity. Now, this is a psychological trick that the book teaches us, is that when we're trying to make improvements in our lives, we shouldn't focus so much on the outcome, who we want to be. Instead, we should be focusing more so on who we believe that we are. So for example, if you want to be more healthy, you're not going to tell yourself that I want to work out 5 times a week. Instead, the question you should be asking yourself is, hey, I'm already a healthy person. What would a healthy person do? And then you go from there. And the reason you do this is because when you think the other way around, when you're simply thinking of what you want to accomplish, you're kind of forcing yourself. You might feel reluctant to do so because you want a certain outcome. Whereas if you start from a place of believing of who you are, believing you're a healthy person, now it makes sense, like, oh, if I'm a healthy person, then it only makes sense for me to go exercise. It's a simple psychological trick that can make things a lot easier and actually eliminate the resistance when you're trying to accomplish all your daily goals. Lesson number 4, make your habits obvious by manipulating your environment. Now, us as human beings, we're very visual creatures, right? We use our eyes to scan everything, and based off what we see, we're going to take actions from then on. So to kind of give you guys an example, say you're trying to eat a little healthier. Well, if you're trying to eat a little healthier, don't go about leaving cookies on the kitchen table and everything, because that way you're going to automatically see the cookies and you're going to eat it without thinking twice. Instead, what you want to do is replace those cookies with maybe a bowl of fruits or something like that. That way, whenever you pass by the table, you're going to immediately see those fruits today, and you're going to remember, like, oh, I'm trying to get the habit of eating a lot healthier. And that there is how you can make the process of developing a habit a lot easier by manipulating your environment. You want to create a more disciplined environment, not so much force yourself to be disciplined. Now, step number 5 is you want to make your habits easy to start. Now, the book shares this concept where it helps to lower the barrier to actually get started with the good habits. So for example, if you're going to get started with going to the gym, instead of setting a goal where you go to the gym 5 times a week for an hour each day, that can be very overwhelming. You want to start off maybe with 2 to 3 times a week for only 10 minutes each time. So yeah, it might not be as efficient. However, the idea here is that you're going to get started, and if you can stay consistent, you can slowly scale it up. Now, this can be applied to anything. Simply scale scale down how intense, how long the duration of doing that thing is, and it's going to be extremely easy to start. Because here's the thing, how our mind really works is that once we get into the zone of doing the thing, we're like, oh, we're already doing it, we may as well continue doing it for the long term. But getting started, getting that shift of mindset to actually put yourself in a situation where you're trying something new can be extremely difficult. So simply make your habits as easy to start as possible. Lesson number 6 is make it rewarding. Now, starting any good habit, often the reward comes in the long term. Immediately, however, there's a lot of short-term suffering. I mean, going to the gym 5 times a week, eventually you're gonna get that rocking body. But when you're first starting out, it's gonna be painful, right? You're gonna feel sore, it's gonna take a lot of time out of your day, and you're just not gonna feel very motivated to do so. So what you need to do is you need to artificially add some sort of reward to that process, right? So maybe every time after you go to the gym, you can reward yourself with a nice, Netflix show or play your favorite video game for an hour or 2. And it's that whole idea of giving yourself some positive reinforcement for following through with whatever you said you were gonna do. Now, some people might argue like you don't want to spoil yourself with any sort of bad rewards, right? But the whole idea here is that you need to motivate yourself somehow, because if you never get started, then you're gonna never make any sort of improvements. So it's better for you to actually find a way to reward yourself so you follow through with that difficult thing, and in the long term, you're able to sustain this a little bit more because you're motivated to follow through with this thing, even though sometimes the task can be difficult to do so. And lastly, lesson number 7 is called the Goldilocks rule. Now, the Goldilocks rule in the book is described as well, the fairy tale, Goldilocks and the 3 bears. This is where she would try some porridge. First it's going to be too hot, then it's too cold, then it'll be just right. So when it comes to developing your habits, you want to find the right habit for you, because all of us as human beings, we're inherently very unique, very special. We have certain likes, certain dislikes, different strengths, different weaknesses. So you don't have to follow everyone's advice or anything that you think is right to the T. Instead, what you want to do is you want to experiment to see what is going to work for you. If you're trying to be healthy, if you're trying to maybe, be a little more fit in life, you don't have to necessarily go to the gym. Maybe you can try running, you can try swimming, you can try yoga, you can try going to a martial arts class, go hiking. There's a lot of different ways to accomplish the same goal, and the only way you will find out what is your just right thing is to simply experiment and try things out. So to summarize all 7 lessons, number 1 is that 1% improvements matter. Number 2, forget goals, focus on systems. Number 3, change starts by changing your identity before changing your habits. Number 4 is you want to make it obvious by changing your environment to make sure you follow through with your habits. Number 5, make starting your habits as easy as possible. Number 6, make your habits rewarding when you're able to accomplish them. And number 7 is the Goldilocks rule, where you want to look and experiment so that way you can find the right habit that is going to work for you. So there you go. Those were the 7 lessons that I've learned from Atomic Habits, and it was something that really helped me in my journey to be a better content creator, to be better in my relationships, to be better in my fitness, and I hope that some of these lessons can help you in yours as well. So that's about it for the video. Thank you so much for watching, and if you appreciate this kind of content, go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. And go ahead and check out this video over here for more, and I will see you guys in the very next one. Take care. Peace.